There's a room in your mind, it's cold, it's quiet. Nobody applauds you in that room, nobody is filming you. There's no audience, no likes, no comments, no one watching to see if you show up. That room is where discipline lives, and most people never go in there. They stand outside the door talking about the version of themselves they want to become, the disciplined one, the strong one, the one who wakes up early, who trains when it's raining, who works when the motivation is gone, and they wait. They wait for a feeling, they wait for Monday. They wait for the new year, the new job, the new relationship, the new city, some external permission slip that says, now. Now you're allowed to become that person, but permission never comes from outside, it was never going to. Because the door to that cold room only opens from the inside, and only you can walk through it. So let's talk about that room. Let's talk about discipline, real discipline, not the poster on the wall, not the quote you screenshot and never read again. Let's talk about what it actually costs, what it actually gives you, and why almost everyone quits exactly one step before it starts paying off. Motivation is a liar here is the first thing you need to accept, and accept completely. Motivation was never going to save you. Motivation is a mood, it's a chemical spike. It shows up when you watch a speech like this one, when you see someone else's transformation, when the year flips over and everything feels possible. And for a few hours, maybe a few days, you feel unstoppable. You clean the house, you make the plan, you buy the notebook, you set the alarm for 5 a.m. and then real life shows up. The alarm goes off and it's dark and it's cold and your bed is warm and the feeling, that beautiful, electric feeling of I'm going to change everything, it's gone. It packed up and left in the night and you're lying there with just you and the decision. That is the moment. That exact moment, lying in the dark with the feeling gone, is where every single person who has ever built anything of value made their decision, not the highlight reel moment. Not the trophy, not the stage, not the after photo. The decision was made in the dark, alone, with nothing pushing them except the fact that they had said they would. Motivation gets you to start. Discipline is the only thing that gets you to continue when starting no longer feels good. Think about the last time you got genuinely fired up about something, a new gym plan, a new business idea. A new version of yourself you swore you'd become after watching one video, reading one book, hearing one story about somebody who changed their life. For a moment, it felt like enough. It felt like the feeling itself was the fuel, and maybe it would just carry you the whole way. It never does. It was never built to. Motivation is designed by your biology to spike and fade, the same way excitement about anything new spikes and fades. That's not a flaw in you. That's not proof you're weak or that you just don't have what it takes. That is simply how emotion works for every human being who has ever lived, including the ones you admire most. The difference between them and everyone who quit is not that their motivation lasted longer. It's that they stopped depending on it in the first place, and here's the part nobody wants to hear. It is never going to consistently feel good. If you're waiting for discipline to feel like motivation, exciting, energizing, easy, you will wait forever, because that is not what discipline is. Discipline at its core is doing the necessary thing regardless of the emotional weather inside you. It rains, you still go. You're tired, you still go. You're bored of it, you still go. That's it. That's the whole definition. Everything else is decoration. The excuse is always available. There will always, always be a reasonable, logical, socially acceptable excuse available to you. Every single day, without exception, life will hand you a valid reason to skip it, to postpone it, to do it tomorrow instead. You're tired, it's raining, you have a headache, work was stressful. Your friend invited you out, you didn't sleep well, it's a special occasion. You'll start Monday, it makes more sense to start on a clean week. You deserve a break, you've been working so hard. Notice something about every single one of those excuses. They're all true, that's what makes them dangerous. A bad excuse is easy to reject. A true excuse is almost impossible to reject because your mind will defend it with total conviction. Your mind is not lying to you when it says you're tired. You probably are tired. But here is the question discipline forces you to ask every single time. Is this a reason or is this just a feeling I'm about to obey? Feelings are real. They are not always instructions. You can feel tired and still tie your shoes. You can feel unmotivated and still open the laptop. You can feel like today isn't the day and still show up anyway, and that single act, showing up anyway, while feeling nothing that resembles motivation, is the entire skill. That's it. That's the whole game. Everyone who has ever achieved anything meaningful has simply done that one thing over and over, thousands of times. Long after it stopped being exciting, the people you admire are not more talented than you. In most cases, they are not smarter than you. They are not luckier than you in any way that matters here. What they have is a different relationship with discomfort. They've stopped negotiating with themselves every single morning. The negotiation is closed. The decision was made once, a long time ago, and it doesn't get reopened every day just because today feels hard. Discipline is not punishment, it's self-respect somewhere along the way. Discipline got a bad reputation. People hear the word and they picture punishment, restriction, a drill sergeant screaming in your face. Deprivation, no sugar, no sleeping in, no rest, no joy. That is not discipline. That is just suffering with extra steps, and it doesn't last because nobody can hate themselves into a better life for very long. It burns out. It always burns out. Real discipline is the opposite of self-punishment. It is the deepest form of self-respect there is. Think about what it actually means when you keep a promise to yourself. Not a promise to your boss, not a promise to your partner, not a promise you made publicly so people would hold you accountable, a private promise made in silence that nobody else even knows about. I will train today. I will not touch my phone for the first hour of the day. I will finish this even though I want to quit. Every time you keep that promise, something quiet and powerful happens inside you. You start to trust yourself, and self-trust is the foundation underneath everything else you want to build: confidence, ambition, resilience, peace. None of it is possible without it. You cannot build a life you're proud of on top of 1,000 broken promises to yourself. It will collapse because the foundation was never solid. And on the other side, every time you break that promise, every time you say, "I'll start Monday," and Monday comes, and you don't, something quiet and corrosive happens too. You start to believe on some level below language that your word doesn't mean anything, not to other people, to you. And once you stop believing your own word means something, everything gets heavier. Every goal starts to feel far away because some part of you already suspects you won't follow through. That is the real cost of a lack of discipline. It's not that you miss one workout or one deadline or one early morning. It's that you slowly teach yourself not to believe in yourself, so flip it. Every single day you choose the disciplined action over the comfortable one, you are making a deposit into that account. You are proving something to the only person whose opinion will still matter when everyone else has gone home: yourself. The cost is real. Pay it anyway. Let's not pretend this is free. Let's not stand here and tell you discipline is easy, because that's a lie, and you already know it's a lie, and the moment you sense a lie in a speech like this, you stop trusting the whole thing. Discipline costs you comfort. It costs you sleep sometimes. It costs you the version of the evening where you just relax and don't think about your goals. It costs you the easy yes when you need to say a hard no. It costs you nights out you might have enjoyed. It costs you the identity of being chill about it, because disciplined people are sometimes seen as intense or extreme or no fun, and some people will say that about you. And it will sting a little because nobody enjoys being misunderstood. It's not the movie moment, it's not one single heroic night where everything changes. It's 1,000 small, unglamorous repetitions that nobody claps for: making the bed, drinking the water, doing the reps, reading the pages, writing the words, showing up 10 minutes early, turning the phone face down, going to sleep on time even though the show has one more episode. None of that looks impressive from the outside. Nobody is going to make a highlight reel out of you doing your dishes before bed so you wake up to a clean kitchen and a clear mind. But that is what actually builds a life, not the dramatic leap. The boring stack of small decisions, repeated so many times that they stop being decisions at all and start being who you are, that's the real target. By the way, not to become someone who has a lot of willpower. Willpower is a limited resource. It runs out by the end of a long day, which is exactly why so many people are disciplined in the morning and fall apart by night. The real target is to build systems and habits so strong that you don't need willpower anymore, because the disciplined choice has become automatic. You don't decide whether to brush your teeth every night, you just do it without a battle because it's wired in. That is the level you are aiming for with everything else. Not a daily war against yourself, a quiet, automatic identity, and that identity gets built one repetition at a time, not one grand gesture. You don't become disciplined by